The night was dark and stormy, the kind of night where you could swear the shadows themselves were alive. It was a typical autumn evening in the small, sleepy town of Hollowsville, nestled deep in the heart of New England. The townsfolk had always whispered tales of the old Hollow House, a decrepit mansion that loomed on the outskirts of town. The stories spoke of ghostly apparitions, strange sounds in the dead of night, and an eerie presence that had plagued the house for generations. Many had ventured into the house, but few had dared to speak of what they had seen. One October evening, a group of curious teenagers decided to investigate the legend surrounding the Hollow House. They were a group of 5 friends: Sarah, Mark, Lisa, Alex, and Emily. They had heard the tales all their lives, and on that fateful night they decided to confront the rumors once and for all. Armed with flashlights, cameras, and their boundless youthful curiosity, they set off on an adventure they would never forget. The Hollow House stood atop a hill, its imposing silhouette silhouetted against the stormy sky. Ivy had overtaken the once grand facade, and its windows were shattered, like vacant, hollow eyes staring out into the darkness. The wind howled through the decrepit structure, creating an eerie symphony of creaks and groans. As they cautiously approached, the group could feel the temperature drop, and a shiver ran down their spines. Mark, the bravest of the bunch, led the way, pushing open the creaking front door with a hesitant hand. The smell of dampness and decay hit them like a wall as they entered the grand foyer, which had seen far better days. The group fanned out, exploring the dilapidated mansion room by room. They passed through dusty, cobweb-laden corridors and ornate chambers, each bearing the marks of its former grandeur. In one room, Lisa stumbled upon a crumbling portrait of a family that must have lived there long ago. Their cold, unsmiling faces seemed to follow her every move, and she quickly moved on. Sarah, the skeptic of the group, tried to lighten the mood with nervous laughter. "Come on, guys," she said. "It's just an old house. There's nothing to be afraid of." But her words seemed to fall flat in the oppressive atmosphere of the Hollow House. As they explored deeper, the group began to notice strange phenomena. Lights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Whispers echoed in the corridors, though no one was speaking. Emily claimed she felt a cold hand brush against her arm, sending her into a fit of panicked screaming. Alex, the group's photographer, had been capturing everything with his camera. When he reviewed the photos, he discovered something chilling. In one image, a faint, ghostly figure seemed to hover at the end of a dimly lit hallway. He zoomed in, trying to make sense of the apparition, but it only grew more unsettling as he stared at it. "That can't be real," Alex mumbled, his voice trembling. The group's unease deepened as they continued their exploration. They descended into the basement, a place shrouded in darkness and dripping with an eerie dampness. The air grew thick with a malevolent presence, and the basement seemed to stretch on endlessly. Mark felt a sensation of being watched, and a heavy weight pressed down on his chest. "We need to get out of here," Mark said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Something isn't right." Just as they turned to leave, the basement door slammed shut with a deafening crash, trapping them in darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled for their flashlights, their beams revealing the shadowy outlines of something inexplicable in the corners of the basement. Whispers grew into unsettling laughter, and the air grew colder, seeping into their very bones. Emily screamed again, and this time the walls seemed to respond. The old, decaying wallpaper peeled away to reveal a series of unsettling drawings. They were grotesque depictions of distorted, contorted figures, their faces twisted into expressions of pain and anguish. The drawings seemed to writhe, their grotesque movements mirroring the group's growing terror. Desperate to escape, they fought to force the basement door open. After what felt like an eternity, it gave way and they stumbled into the moonlit night. The oppressive presence of the Hollow House seemed to follow them, though, as they fled down the hill. Once they were safely away, the group huddled together, shaken to their core. Their cameras and flashlights lay forgotten in the grass, left behind in their frantic escape. They vowed never to speak of the horrors they had witnessed that night, but the memory of the Hollow House would haunt them forever. In the days that followed, the group experienced unexplainable nightmares and visions of the malevolent figures from the drawings. Their lives began to unravel, and their once unbreakable friendship crumbled under the weight of the Hollow House's curse. Sarah, the skeptic, was plagued by relentless whispers in the dead of night. Mark, once the bravest, became a shadow of his former self, haunted by the sensation of being watched. As for Alex, his photographs from that night remained chilling reminders of their ill-fated adventure. He couldn't escape the ghostly figure captured in the image, a phantom forever etched in his mind. Lisa and Emily, who had been the most affected by the basement's grotesque drawings, saw their health deteriorate, plagued by unexplained illnesses. The Hollow House had exacted a toll on their lives, a haunting reminder of the terror they had unleashed. They scattered, each trying to escape the curse in their own way, but it followed them, a relentless specter of fear and despair. In the end, they all carried a piece of the Hollow House with them, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, some legends left untouched. The terror of that night would never fade, and the Hollow House would forever stand as a testament to the true horrors that can be found in the darkest corners of our world, waiting to consume the souls of the unwary. Please subscribe, or I will haunt you down in your dreams.